Welcome everybody to Spooky Night! That's right, that's why I have my lighting set up in a way that will make it very difficult to color correct later if I realize I did something wrong. I didn't even do a test of this. That's how dedicated I am to making this a spooky night. It's that time of year again where we watch a Christian scary movie. And boy, do I have a doozy for you. This is a movie called Be Still and Know. I found it randomly. It looked like something that would be the perfect thing for a movie night. I don't know what it's about, but from the trailer, it seems like it's about 4 teenagers who go into a cabin in the woods. Have you heard this before? Maybe not, because this is about Jesus. Is this gonna be as good as the movie Cabin in the Woods? Probably not. There's only one way to find out, and that's to jump right into it. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get ready for my movie night review of Jesus, a Cabin, and the Shack in the Woods. Let's get ready for my movie night review of Be Still and Know. Dun, dun, dun. I'm scared already. Hopefully you're scared because of the lighting Every New Day Pictures presents. This is where we get all the production company names that we've definitely heard of. And they're not made up for this film. Be Still and Know. So the movie begins like all slasher films with 2 little girls playing Marco Polo out in a field.
Sophia Marie Edwards, if you touch me with a frog, I will scream! I know you will, CJ!
My favorite way to begin a movie. But frogs aren't the only thing these girls find disgusting, because we cut over to them in a barn talking about the only thing girls can talk about in a movie, boys.
Boys are like, ew.
Boys are like ew. And before all my lovely feminist viewers get bent out of shape over this, just keep in mind, this movie is written and directed by a woman. You know, it's about time we had some female representation in the Christian scary movie industry.
You told me you thought he was cute. You did not.
The drinking game for this episode is every time you hear the word ew, take a drink of water.
Boys are like, ew.
This is when we get our first indication that the movie is Christian!
Dear Lord, protect us from the flies.
Children praying and WWJD bracelets. It's just an onslaught of Christianity right in your face. That's when we see that Sophia Marie Edwards might have a future working for BuzzFeed.
If you can meet anyone, dead or alive.
Alive.
Ricky Mitchell. Ricky Mitchell from science class? That doesn't count.
I hope this whole movie isn't just them talking about boys.
I meant like the president or Mozart.
Ooh, she has a crush on Mozart? Dun, 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 dun. No, wrong one. I think that's Beethoven.
Why would I want to meet Mozart?
All right, I think we get the idea of these kids. Let's cut to the future.
Can't believe you have to move.
6 years later. Uh-oh, I've not had great experiences with movies set on farms. That's when we see that the 2 little girls have grown up 6 years, but they're acting exactly the same way. In their favorite position. Laying on the blanket in a field. But we pick up from their pillow talk that CJ is having to move because her dad got a new job.
Why does my dad need this stupid promotion anyway?
You can move in with me. Our guest room's just full of my mom's old sewing junk anyway, and she hasn't sewn anything since, like, our middle school play.
Man, I hate that the movie reminded us that we skipped over that entire middle school play with one crossfade.
My parents are obsessed with this fancy new private high school.
This is not a great angle. I'm not making fun. I'm just saying I wouldn't film someone at this angle. Well, what do I know? Look at my lighting.
I'll be just another prep school Pris.
You will never be a prep school Pris.
Yes, I will.
You're not snotty enough.
Yeah, you're right. No matter what, you're still my best friend.
Just how rich is your dad gonna be once he starts his new promotion?
Nothing's really gonna change.
That's when everything changes. We cut to sometime in the future where we're at college with our main character 6 years later. CJ. Remember?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just thinking,
what if you, my college roommate, only exist as a vehicle to inform the audience about what's gonna happen in the movie later?
Some pretty deep thinking. You're like a million miles away.
4 days of freedom. Just let me get my bag. Thought you'd be gone already.
I haven't even packed yet.
Thought you were excited about your trip.
Do you have that one friend you just grew apart from?
Yeah, from high school, I guess.
Sophia was my BFF since, like, Kindergarten. I moved to the city senior year, and
This really is giving me, a guy, some insight as to what girls talk about when they're alone and how boring it is.
it's been a while, I guess.
You can carry on a 2-hour conversation with the janitor.
I do have the hots for the janitor.
No, I'm not kidding. She's done that before.
It's not exactly me that I'm worried about.
That's when she gets a phone call from the one she is worried about, because she has become what she always feared.
Prep school Pris.
Please tell me you found a way out of this.
I relate with this movie because they're using cell phones and FaceTime. Took a long time to get here, but basically all of this is a setup for her and her 3 friends to go on this trip. 2 of them are her college friends, and one of them is her friend Sophia that we saw at the beginning, and also the person whose grandpa's cabin they'll be staying in. One of those college friends is this girl, Amber, and she does not want to go, but for some reason she is going. It's all explained in very clunky exposition. It's great.
The only reason I'm not cruising the Caribbean with Robbie and Jess is because I have a cross-country meet the day they dock in Nassau. This trip is like second choice.
Wow. Settle.
You know, there's one thing that this movie's missing that most slasher movies have, and that's super on-the-nose foreshadowing of the doom to come.
You're dead.
There's no service anyway.
Great.
Ooh, spooky night.
Are you sure this cabin thing is a good idea?
Are you sure we're not gonna end up, cliche?
The worst thing that ever happened was sunburns and mosquito bites.
Oh, and that guy tried to murder us, but, you know, nothing else. Can you believe this was produced by someone named John Goodwin and written and directed by someone named Brittany Goodwin?
Yeah, but you said that was before her grandfather. You know.
Texas Chainsaw massacred all those children.
I get it. Fall break in a cabin sounds beyond lame, but
This is a Christian movie, so you know it's gonna be cool.
Sophia's been begging me to come out. Feel like I kind of owe it to her.
Sophia's been begging her to come out? Wow, I'm glad they made that text message pop out so I could still barely read it. Well, after the awesome FaceTime scene, we cut over to the picnic table scene. 3 girls are waiting on Sophia.
Chick is late, Catherine.
The way these girls talk, I'm surprised they don't call each other the B word.
Why did she want to meet us here anyway? Doesn't she live, like, where we're going?
To make sure I didn't fail.
Sophia's become extremely insecure, mainly because I've become an extremely terrible friend.
She'll be here.
Well, could you at least tell us a little bit about Sophia?
What? They don't know anything about her yet?
Because I would prefer not to be rude, like Amber.
Everyone wants to be like Amber.
Everybody wants to have mosquitoes trapped in it so they can suck out the blood and use it to clone dinosaurs.
Sophia and I have kind of been out of touch since I moved away.
What? No, don't be out of touch with Sophia.
Aren't you glad you asked? You'll have so much in common.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
She likes nature and
Nurture.
hiking.
Yeah, but does she like pumpkin spice lattes?
So much in common.
That's when Sophia pulls up and we see, ew, she has a gross old car. Ew, blah. Jocelyn isn't gonna like this at all.
Jocelyn!
That should be more like, so, Chipa's car.
This campus is huge.
She doesn't even have a scarf. Looks like she's more likely to scarf down a donut.
These are my friends, Amber and Jocelyn.
You know, many slasher and horror films are based on some of our deepest, darkest fears, and often are metaphors for society. I think this is the first one I've seen that covers the real and true fear of your 2 friend groups not getting along.
Amber lives in my dorm across the hall.
And you can thank me for that, or you would have ended up with those drama club weirdos.
Hey, I did drama club.
My point exactly.
We should get going, right? 3-hour drive?
3-hour drive, a 3-hour drive.
This is gonna be a great weekend.
What's the worst that could happen? Well, after all the cabin talk, we finally get the drive. I guess Sophia is just gonna leave her car there? Ew.
For wannabe filmmakers out there, you'll notice that car rides can be a useful tool for using the classic filmmaking technique of tell, don't show. Why make a scene that's intriguing and interesting and fun to watch when you can just have a car ride where people say the things that clearly the writer wants you to know about?
Did you end up taking those classes from the community college like you talked about?
I tried it. It wasn't for me. Trying to help my family out since my dad's still out of work.
I really am sorry about your grandfather. I hardly recognize this area.
Well, it has been over 2 years.
Yes, we both know that. I'm glad everyone knows that now.
I wanted to make it to the funeral, but school just started.
And honestly, funerals just kind of bum me out? I don't know.
figured
Whoa,
my
she's
time
still
was back.
wearing her WWJD bracelet. Oh, yay!
Grandpa will just be watching us from above all weekend.
Like he used to watch us when we'd have sleepovers. All right, well, after that invigorating conversation, we get along driving to the cabin montage. Cool. I guess they paid for the rights to this song, so they might as well use it. Excuse me, cow. Do you know where the cabin is?
That's it up there.
This is the joke stop, right? And then we'll drive like a mile up the road and there'll be streaming channels and a hot tub.
It's very jarring that they keep cutting from the same angle, back and forth. I guess we'll just park here in the middle of the driveway. So it turns out the cabin isn't really in the middle of the woods. It's more just kind of off a scenic highway.
I know I've said it like 85 times, but
That's not gonna stop me from saying most things I say in this movie about 85 times.
Did your grandpa die in this cabin?
No.
Oh, good.
Although, he did always say it was haunted. Kidding.
Oh, good.
When did you say was the last time you were here?
During the summer, I guess.
Did you say the summer or December? Wow, is there a sandstorm happening in the house? That's when we find out this trip is gonna be worse than they thought. It seems the electricity doesn't work.
Maybe a little squirrel came in and unscrewed every light bulb.
Ah! Boy, it's really getting scary now. Spooky night.
I'll check the breaker.
And that's when it looks like maybe somebody's watching them. Somebody's watching me. You can know how Christian you are by whether or not you think that I just sang a Toby Mac song or a Rockwell song.
what happened?
It was a little noise.
It sounded like a bowling ball was trying to break through the ceiling.
Ah, not a bowling ball. Everybody knows about scary bowling balls. Ooh.
We should go check it out.
No, don't go check it out. Haven't you girls ever seen a scary movie?
I think we should split up.
I just had trouble with this old door.
Today on This Old House, we're gonna be fixing this old door.
The only noise we used to hear up here was your grandpa's old country albums on repeat.
You know, weirdly specific memories is not the same as character development and world building.
I guess that's what moving to the big city will do to you.
Yeah, I'm a city girl
Yeah,
now.
that's the whole premise of the movie. I think we've already established that.
Amber and Jocelyn are probably halfway back to that big city by now.
Fine by me.
I'd rather be alone with you anyway. That's when we find
So-
out that Catherine's BFF is a little Jellly.
Thanks for humoring me.
I'm here because I'm your friend.
Get used to it.
We've all got something in common, okay?
Whatever you say.
But as she leaves the attic, she sees something up there. Jesus Christ! Well, I know what everybody's been wondering. What's the deal with the animals on the wall? Can we have a whole scene about that, please?
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
CJ and I were with Grandpa when we got that guy.
Catherine!
Amber's a vegetarian.
Ew.
I'm sorry. All I could hear was kill, 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 kill.
But that's because I have my earbuds in and I'm listening to Eminem.
So do all of these animals just run wild on the property?
Without any scarves or anything?
Deer, quail, raccoons, coyotes, cougars.
As in mountain lions?
No, not that kind.
We never actually saw one, but then one day, one of Grandpa's baby goats went missing without a trace. And every now and then we would hear these cries.
Guys, she's just messing with you.
Suppose you're gonna tell us Bigfoot's running around out there too. Why don't you see for yourselves?
So they do.
We're gonna go see if Bigfoot's out here.
We'll show you around our old stomping grounds.
But as Sophia locks up, she does something suspicious. What was that? Well, I guess she's gonna be the bad guy. Well, if there's one thing this scary movie is missing, it's a taking pictures and walking around in the field montage.
All these people tell
I got a great shot of their butts. Selfie!
Kind of cute.
Where are they going? They're gonna get chiggers.
One thing I know.
Right now, it's all fun and games, but you know this is where one of them's gonna die. I mean, die to themselves and repent and give their heart to Jesus Christ. That's when they find a real cabin in the woods. Hey, come look, there's a body in here.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting this type of minivan mom music to be in this cabin in the woods slasher film. But that's when I remembered it's a Christian movie, and Christian movies have different rules about death.
They're allowed to die if they're an atheist and they're about to receive the Lord Jesus Christ as their personal savior, or if they're about to be resurrected from the dead magically.
So I'm starting to get a little concerned about how they're gonna handle this.
When it all comes and you can just let.
Hey, we get it. They're taking pictures. Jeez Louise, what?
Open your mind and open the front door.
So we're all sitting around just waiting for something to happen.
Okay. Even you have to admit, this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the picture of that nasty green marsh is gorgeous.
This is the type of thing, like, if there was something, like, I guess the closest thing was the girl, like, locking the door and looking around, so then we get an indication that maybe she's gonna do something bad, but it's not gonna happen right now, we know that, so we're all just waiting for something interesting to happen. Well, it's been a little while since they've talked about things and stuff.
And reminisced about the fact that CJ and Soph actually used to be friends growing up.
So, let's sit down at this picnic table and do that.
Can you believe we used to swim in there?
If I could go back and tell 12-year-old me one thing, it would be to stay out of that lake.
Brain-eating amoebas live in still water like that. I saw on an episode of Modern Hospital, and a little water gets up her nose.
I heard it was up your urethra.
2 days later, her head is pounding, her ears are bleeding, and her...
Okay, we get the picture.
I've seen every episode of Modern Hospital.
Who hasn't?
Ask me like any medical question. I'm practically an MD.
Okay, we get it. That's when Catherine sees something. Ah!
Something's out there.
Man is in the forest.
Come on, guys, follow me. There's more to see.
Okay, now we're gonna get BFF doing something bad. Let's go over towards the noise in the woods. Yeah.
Hey, what is that?
That's when they see a wind stream.
I definitely don't remember seeing this before.
That's because it's mobile.
Well, I have seen this movie, and it didn't end well.
Great, so it didn't start well, and now we know it's not gonna end well? Thanks for wasting our time, movie.
Are we even still on your grandpa's land?
Dun, dun, dun.
It's hard to say. It's over 150 acres.
Even though we've explored this property every summer for like 8 years.
Wow, thanks for letting us know about how many times you've explored this property over the last 8 years.
I grew up here, so I guess I'm just more comfortable.
Oh, did you?
Sorry, guys. It's getting dark anyway.
So after a long, exciting day of walking through the woods and taking pictures of each other, they head back to Sophia's grandpa's cabin.
I'm climbing my mountain day by day. I'm climbing my mountain all the way. Oh, good.
So, Amber...
I hope we get some more talking to each other about their past and life and things that don't matter.
This veggie dog has 65 calories and is like 0% trans fat.
And I'm gonna swallow all of it right now.
And I have a cross-country meet on Monday, so...
Oh, yeah. Hey, remind us again, what is it you have going on Monday?
A cross-country meet.
Oh, that joke again.
My artery clogger is done. Grab the buns, Jocelyn.
Okay, before we eat,
Can I allow my jealousy to make everybody uncomfortable?
do you remember that prayer that we made up? It was like our camping prayer from when we came out here together.
Oh, gosh.
Sorry, so it's just been a long time. I don't remember.
The suspense is killing me.
You're one to talk, so does anyone know any scary stories?
Listen up, ladies.
I got in one little fight and my mom got scared and I'm moving with my auntie and uncle in Bel Air. That's a scary story to upper class white girls.
There were 4 girls on a camping trip.
That's really original.
Oh, I know a great scary story. It's called Be Still and Know. Here we go. It's gonna freak you the heck out.
They have all of their tents and gear, and they hike like a mile into the woods. And it takes them like forever.
Very similar to this story.
By the time they get to the area where they're gonna be camping, it's already dark. So they try to set up camp without really being able to see where they are.
But then they were like,
Hey, let's start a fire. And so they did, and they could see where they are.
They think everything is fine. So they decide to settle in for the night. As they try to go to sleep, they hear sounds. Strange, painful cries from deep in the woods.
that's when they realize there's no mustard. Ah!
Sounds they would never forget. Sounds that...
Ah!
And they woke up to find they're on top of 4 graves. Can we go inside now?
That wasn't scary at all.
You guys can go inside. I'll get the fire put out.
That's a great story, almost as good as this movie.
Okay, I vote for a slumber party in the living room. I'm not sleeping alone in this creepy place.
As if we weren't cut off from civilization before. 3% battery.
Well, that's when Prissy Girl goes to the car to charge her cell phone because, like, they don't have any electricity or whatever. Ew. Meanwhile, CJ and Soph have a heart-to-heart.
I don't really want them to hear embarrassing stories about games we used to play when we were like 12.
Really? Because that's like half the dialogue of this movie.
What happened to you, Catherine?
I suppose I shouldn't tell them that we went to church camp together or that I was there when you got baptized in the lake.
And when you got that disease that crawled up inside of you when you got baptized in the lake?
Don't worry about it. I won't say anything to embarrass you in front of your cool new college friends.
Good, that's what I just asked you to do.
Later, everyone's trying to sleep in the cabin in the woods.
I don't know if I can sleep with these things staring at me. They all know they were killed for food, except maybe that one.
Meow.
Don't worry, they don't bite.
They're my only friends.
I think I could sleep even if one of those things crawled under my blanket with me.
Ew, don't say that.
Ew, catchphrase. Everybody take a drink.
Gotta get rested up for tomorrow.
Another big and exciting day like we had today planned.
Much more afraid of what's in the dark, in the woods.
Like a cabin. You think this movie can tell us to be afraid without actually having anything scary about it any more times?
Jocelyn, you said you were tired. Do not mess with me.
Jeez Louise. I just fell asleep for 5 seconds and I had a better dream than this movie. That's when we get to watch them sleeping in real time. What, did her grandpa film this scene? Later! In the morning, everybody wakes up. Riveting! But that's when we see
Amber?
Amber is gone!
Amber's gone. Amber! Amber!
Amber! Amber!
She's gone and the door's open.
I've looked everywhere already.
Amber!
Maybe they should put out an Amber alert. Well, that's when the girls go off looking for Amber. Amber! Did you check the wind stream? Is that what it's called? I think it's Airstream. But it turns out Amber's just on a morning jog. The classic horror movie fake out, I'm sure. And that's when, after 30 minutes of watching these four girls complain about things, we finally get our first scary moment. Ah!
You're not supposed to be here.
I'm sorry, sir. We're just staying in a friend's cabin. I must have taken the wrong trail.
Perhaps she took a wrong turn.
This is my land. I know what city folk like you want to do to this land.
You want to rape it and pillage it.
Build your shopping malls and parking lots.
Yes, I'm sure this girl's there to build a shopping mall.
I'm sorry. I went the wrong way, okay?
This is my land.
I understand.
I love this land. I love it so much.
You don't want it.
Okay.
You don't want it after the things I've done to it.
You don't want it. It's not safe for you. You're not safe on this land.
It's precious to me.
You don't want it.
You don't want it. Don't want sex for now.
Amber!
Amber!
What happened? Where were you?
I would recap what happens, but Amber does it for us, so...
Went for a run. I was on the trail when this crazy, dirty guy came out of nowhere.
What?
He said we're on his land. He had a gun.
He's probably just a hunter or something.
No, he's a sick perv. He's disgusting. He told me some terrible things about what he did to the land.
I told you my grandpa used to hunt out here all the time.
No, he just kept saying that we were on his land. And I said, no, we're staying at Sophia's grandfather's cabin. He said it wasn't safe
I gave him all my information. I said, here's my social security number. This is my address where you could come and find me. I did everything I'm supposed to do.
You should go talk to him. Explain why we're here so we don't have to worry about him coming back.
No, I won't.
Let's go get something to eat.
Food always makes me feel better.
Can I just talk to you a second? Alone?
What's the big deal?
There is no land. Earth ends right over there. That's right. I'm a flat earther.
You're the one who thinks this guy's just some hunter. You can't kick us off land that isn't his.
She doesn't own the cabin.
What? What's wrong?
I never knew my grandfather. Well, that's when we learn about this extremely weird predicament. It's the big twist of the movie.
After my grandfather died, there was no will.
And where there's no will, there's no way.
And they didn't know who was the rightful owner of the property, so they're auctioning it off to the highest bidder.
Whoa. What a twist.
So, like, your dad or your uncle are buying it?
We don't have that kind of money, you know that. The bank kind of owns it now or something, unless they've sold it to someone else.
For some weird reason, we can't Is that how it works? If you don't have a will, it goes to the next of kin, right? Maybe he was deep in debt.
You're the one who said we could come here and spend the weekend, and it was all taken care of.
I wanted to come here one last time, and I wanted to do it with
I
you.
wanted to do it with you, here, at the cabin.
So we aren't supposed to be here?
Yes, why did the movie have to say it so many times for you to get it?
You're not supposed to be here.
And that man with a gun is saying he has every right to want us off his land?
Wow, thanks for recapping everything.
You're always flaunting what a good person, what a good Christian you are.
Well, if you got it, flaunt it.
You lied to all of us and knowingly put us in danger.
It's not dangerous here. I just
How
thought
could you do this?
It's just convoluted. It's just a plot that doesn't make any sense. That's all it is. I'm sorry.
You can tell Amber and Jocelyn what you've done. Don't expect me to take your side on this.
The things you've done is just evil. I never want to be your friend again because you're not a real Christian.
Guys, get your stuff. We're leaving.
What? What happened?
Did Sophia talk to that guy?
Please, we need to leave. Now.
Well, after that amazing revelation, the girls decide to leave.
But it turns out they can't.
What's that noise?
Whose phone is this?
It's mine.
Her phone drained the battery of the car.
Well, yeah, there's no electricity in the house.
Well, now there's no electricity in the car.
Your phone drained the battery.
Come on. The car battery is like this big, and my phone battery is like this big.
Well, since the car won't start, let's go inside and explain again why this is a totally bad situation.
So then this is bad. What do you mean we don't have permission to be here? I thought you said your grandfather...
I'm sorry, guys. I messed up. You got that right.
Jocelyn, what about your boyfriend?
He's at the baseball tournament. We just planned to talk when we both got back.
Stop explaining things, please. Well, what about Gregory? He's at Comic-Con this week. Oh, of course.
Trying to think of our options here.
The plateau has a clear view of the sky.
Maybe go ask that hunter guy if you could get a jump and say like, hey, I'll get off your land if I can use your car.
I'll hike to the top and see if I can get service. And when I do, I'll...
Yes. All right, in this extremely not scary situation, let's split up.
Are you sure that's a good idea with that guy out there?
I'll be fine.
Oh, what about wolves and lions and Bigfoot and stuff?
I've been on this property 100 times.
Oh, have you? Have you? Has it been over the last 8 years?
So Sophia heads out by herself to go to the top of the ridge or whatever to get cell phone signal to call for help, leaving everybody else back at the cabin.
Should one of us go with her?
No, she lied. She can die out there.
How could I be so stupid? How can I do this to the only friend that I have?
Wow, exposition even when she's not talking to anybody.
Please, Lord, help us get out of this safely. Forgive me for lying and deceiving people who trusted me.
Are we playing Christian movie bingo? Go ahead and mark off exposition given through a prayer. This movie has the scariest soundtrack. Chopsticks.
What if that man shows up here while we're waiting for Sophia?
He clearly doesn't live in this cabin.
Yeah, but if he owns the property, he knows where the cabin is.
Or he can be out there watching Sophia.
Why would Sophia go by herself? Shouldn't she have at least somebody?
Hello?
Ah!
Hello?
Is there a sound effects person out there somewhere?
Anyone out there?
Scruffy, is that you? It's not. Oh, no! Did she die?
Shouldn't she have been back by now?
Yeah, it's been like forever.
Something's not right.
What? There is just like a ching, and then ah! At least she went to heaven.
I shouldn't have been so hard on her.
I got frustrated and upset, and now she's out there all alone.
She lied to you. She lied to all of us.
I think that guy shot her with his knife.
It's weird being here.
Yeah, you're telling me. Yeah, I mean, besides all of this.
Movie that's happening right now. It's just like weird, right?
Being here reminds me of when I was a kid.
Oh, good. More reminiscing. Well, would you guys like to guess what happens next? Could it be a moment where the girls sit down and they talk about their lives and things that are happening in the movie?
Until 10th grade, I had this best friend named Cecilia. Then I got into cross country and she got this new boyfriend, Dean, and we just grew apart. So I know how it is. Sophia was your friend for a certain time in your life, but now you've changed.
Maybe I haven't changed as much as I thought.
Maybe I will start being nicer to whatever her name is.
But that's when Jocelyn happens to notice something that she didn't notice before in one of her pictures.
Tell me my eyes aren't playing tricks on me.
You guys see that, right?
What is it? A ghost?
What do we do? Like, do we need to go after her?
Defenseless against a mountain lion?
Oh, a mountain lion. The mountain lion had the knife.
She did say she'd come out here every year for like ever and never seen one.
8 years, actually.
Yeah, but I saw one yesterday.
Jocelyn's right.
Jocelyn's always right.
It doesn't make sense for us to go out there completely defenseless.
Or completely nude.
We can't help Sophia if we can't help ourselves.
We should help ourselves to this deer on the wall.
She could have just decided to walk to a road and blow us all off.
Wait, you're the one who was just saying we need to go after her.
Do we need to go after her?
Well, that's when they do the one thing they could possibly do at this moment.
There's literally only one thing I can think of to do at this moment.
Pray.
I know she would do the same.
Pray. I bet it's pray.
Dear Lord,
Oh, it's prayer. I never would have guessed.
please look out for Sophia. She's out there somewhere trying to find us help.
Give us a lighting guy for our movie, please.
Sophia's always been a true friend, and she has the biggest heart.
I mean, they're all gonna die of Lyme disease by the end of the movie anyway.
But that's when God speaks to CJ's heart.
I know what we need to do.
What is it? What is it, CJ? What do we need to do? They're gonna look for a gun.
Sophia's grandfather was a hunter, right?
He was a hunter-gatherer, actually.
There has to be a gun.
Probably just has a gun just laying around somewhere in a box.
CJ, do you even know how to use a gun?
You know how hunters are always so irresponsible with their guns.
I don't have all the answers, but the least we can do is search.
Look, I don't have all the answers, but I know one of them is a gun.
That makes sense, actually. One of my SGK Plus members just guessed that the guy with the gun is actually going to turn out to be a good guy, Home Alone style.
But as CJ's searching for the gun, that's when she discovers something else. A crumpled up piece of paper? What could it be?
The grandpa's will? We'll find out about that later. What a tease.
You guys!
I accidentally shot myself.
Wow, this movie's setting things up.
Bullets? No gun.
Those aren't bullets. I hope they don't find a gun because they'll try to...
These bullets don't fit in this revolver.
I don't think I even know how to use one of these things, but it's worth a try.
Oh, no, she's talking about the rotary phone.
Who do we call? 911?
Ghostbusters!
There's no dial tone.
There's an outlet. There has to be a dial tone. I mean, if I have 4G, I can certainly make a phone call. Same thing, right? Tap the line or something.
Kids don't know anything about technology.
If you remember what this is, then you get me. I'm this old.
There was this girl trapped in a basement on Modern Hospital, and Amber.
Shut the up about Modern Hospital. Oh, good. I was worried that they weren't going to sit down and have a conversation about nonsense.
I know it's partially my fault that we're stuck here like this.
I'm not blaming you, Amber.
I'd never be brave enough to do what Sophia did. Hiking to the top of a hill alone with that guy out there, I'd never be brave enough to try.
Sophia is brave.
Well, not anymore.
She always made me believe that I could get through anything if I just said the right prayer.
I'm glad we're having this memorial service for somebody they don't know is dead yet.
I'm not dead yet.
We actually don't know if she's dead. We just heard the sound of a knife and her scream in the woods. But that could mean anything, really. That's when we get an extremely lame and boring story about when Lindsay and CJ... No, what's her name? Sorry.
Basically, it's an origin story for their little prayer that they say together. Aww.
We just said that prayer as we made our way through the dark.
See, what happened is this girl told this story at a situation like this, and someone sarcastically said,
Oh, great story. Why don't you make a movie about it? Oh, that's a great idea.
Sophia's okay out there, isn't she?
No, she's dead.
If anyone's okay out there,
It's the deer.
God will keep her safe. He'll keep us safe too.
Meanwhile, the moon. But it turns out Sophia isn't dead. Or this is inside the stomach of the mountain lion. We don't know yet. It turns out she was picked up by the same guy that picked up Sassy in Homeward Bound.
Well, so that's when she begins to pray.
Give us clear skies. Watch over us with your eyes.
Wake me up!
That's when the movie really starts to get real scary.
We already know that if she prays, she's better. And they already foreshadowed that she was okay because they said,
Well, if anybody's okay, she is.
and they're not going to make it that the girl who survives through prayer, they're not going to let her die. That's the lesson of the movie, is that if you pray, nothing bad can happen to you, obviously. So whatever tension this movie might have had, it doesn't have because it's completely sucked out by the fact that we know nothing bad's going to happen.
Okay, so you're just trying to make me look stupid then?
I don't think anybody needs to try to do that.
Or nobody is snap texting this moment.
What's snap texting?
I think I hear something.
Teenagers and their technology.
It's probably Sophia. Maybe she got help.
Maybe she's snap texting.
Sophia didn't go to the road.
She called someone, duh, that was the whole plan.
So why isn't she back? I don't know.
That's when this old truck pulls up to this old house.
You let them in?
Let's shoot him.
So they just gave up by finding the gun.
I know you're in there.
That's how you approach somebody's house that likely has guns.
I know you're in there. Clunk, clunk, clunk.
The man from the woods that said we don't belong here and we need to leave, that's him.
Well, I guess maybe he does own this house because it's his land.
I have your friend.
And your little dog, too.
What do we do?
Shoot him.
Did you hear me in there?
I'm gonna talk to him.
What? Are you crazy?
Maybe.
Is thinking everybody in the world is crazy make you crazy? Because then maybe I am maybe.
And what if he doesn't have her?
Then he can have me.
Look, there's nothing you can say to stop me.
What would Jesus do?
Lock the door behind me.
What? I have to go up to the door? Why don't you lock the door before you leave? So she approaches the man who approached their house in a clearly intentionally sinister way.
Where's Sophia?
You need to come with me.
Follow my backlight.
Tell me where she is. I can go on my own.
I'll show you.
Zip. Fart jokes are fun. So she decides to go with him. Hey, as long as she prays, she'll be okay. That's right, girls. Here's a little lesson for you. As long as you pray, it's okay to get in a car with a stranger.
Can you please just tell me where we're going?
Maybe you should have asked that before you got in the car with him.
Told her it wasn't safe here.
Meanwhile, Sophia is still trying to put her shoes on. Where's my phone? Oh my gosh, where's my phone? Ah! Well, see, there's your problem. The phone's not supposed to do that. That's all I'm saying. Well, here we are. The luau.
Where's Sophia?
Who's Sophia?
Stay here.
I gotta take a piss. Zip. But given the fact that this is a very, very scary situation and one that anyone would want to get away from, CJ runs away. Hey, you! Stop! Meanwhile, the two other girls are back at the cabin and they're searching around the cabin for something. Who knows what? And that's when they find a clipping of a newspaper article that is cut so it is intentionally vague for some reason.
That's him. I know it is. 2 killed, blank injured.
That's such a terribly worded headline.
Jocelyn, there's no telling what this man could be capable of. And CJ's out there with him alone. Not to mention Sophia. This lunatic could have 2 of our friends.
Yes, we know. Thanks for ramping up the tension there.
It's a rich photo, Amber. There's no telling what
I
this
saw
is.
on Modern Hospital.
Amber, we don't have time for this. Amber, it could be way simpler than that.
Or way worse.
I mean, they killed animals. Why wouldn't they kill humans? Also, why is it there in the drawer? Finding Signal, the movie. Well, that's when we cut over to Catherine, who's finally found the wind stream.
Sophia?
I know you're in there. I have your friend. What if that's just how you approach people's houses in this part of the United States?
CJ.
Are you okay? What happened to you?
What did happen to you? Guess they're gonna show us that later. When are we gonna find out what she found under the bed?
I heard a gun. What's going on out there? It's that man. There's no way I can make it all the way back.
Ah! Man is in the forest. Again.
We need to find a knife or a weapon or something.
Another dragged out looking for a gun sequence. Exciting, but that's when she finds something else again. This is a very frustrating movie, I'll tell you that much right now. But just at that moment, the man comes home and sees she's touching his things.
Are you touching my things? Told you to stay in the truck.
I mean, I was gonna bring you here anyway, so... Meanwhile, the other girls are reading the article that happens to be in the cabin about the serial killer or something. Killed. Which informs them that the whole thing is one big misunderstanding.
Local Madison resident Eli Grossman will return home from Afghanistan after a bomb detonated under his convoy.
Oh gosh, that's horrible. He's from Madison, Tennessee? Ugh.
He's not some crazy serial killer.
He's a hero.
Sounds like he lost 2 of his friends.
Like we did. Well, now we cut back to those 2 friends where all the tension has been sucked out of the scene. But Eli's still a little concerned about them touching his things.
Why are you touching my things?
We're just trying to get back to Sophia's grandfather's cabin.
What did you just say?
Wait, you know Grandpa?
My grandfather used to live out here.
Daniel Aldrich was your grandfather?
How do you know that?
Because you just told him. It turns out he was the fishing guy.
You told me you thought he was cute. Did not. Did too. No, you did not.
What are you girls arguing about now?
I mean, I know if this movie has done anything, it has spent an hour and a half firmly establishing that you came here every year and you searched this whole place and you know every inch of this place, but you have no idea who this guy is.
Well, why don't you make yourselves useful then? Another one of your grandpa's goats is missing. Come help me look.
Okay. Hey, Eli, do you have a girlfriend?
Who wants to know?
Eli?
Eli?
Do you remember us?
Wow, I can't believe I didn't see it coming.
I saw the Purple Heart. Is that yours?
No, I stole it off a guy I killed.
Did he let you stay here?
What's happening?
I use my traps to keep the predators away.
This is a Predator movie?
Lying to the bankers, trying to take it all from me.
We weren't trying to take anything away from you.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember many things, but
I remember you touching my things.
maybe I do remember you.
Our friends are probably really worried about us.
Seeing as how it looks like you kidnapped us, and that was made worse by the fact that you approached our house and were like, I know you're in there, I've got your friend. So you might have given the wrong impression somehow.
If we get the battery jump started, we can leave right away. Sophia probably needs to go to the hospital.
No!
Now get! You go!
It's a dark road and it's late.
I walk a lonely road on the boulevard of broken dreams. Plus the predators have that heat vision, so...
You should stay at the cabin tonight. It's safer.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to do before you kidnapped us.
I cleaned and dressed the wounds.
In a very sexual way. What happened to her? And what was that knife that we hear? Oh! I'm a real idiot. I've just put it all together. She stepped in one of his traps.
To keep the predators away.
All right, I get it. Turns out he wasn't a bad guy. Nobody saw that coming. Literally nobody. I'm surprised. Everybody who subscribed to SGK Plus is surprised. We're all surprised. So the girls come home to the cabin safe and sound. So instead of like creepily taking her back to his own trailer, why didn't he bring her here in the first place? And they all learned a valuable lesson. Never judge somebody harshly if they've been in the military. 2 questions. What was the thing she found, the piece of paper she found under the bed? And are they supposed to be there or not? We don't know. Maybe that doesn't matter anymore.
You okay?
Thinking what it would be like to lose 2 friends.
Get it? Get it? That's when we get one last boring conversation, reminiscing about the movie we just watched.
It's a really overwhelming day.
How's your foot?
Stinky.
We'll be fine.
Fortunately, I was wearing Uggs, so it really didn't get to me.
I messed up.
I committed the unpardonable sin of saying that the cabin that my grandpa owns, I don't know.
It was really hard on me when you moved, and I lost my grandpa.
This is like catching faith levels of dishonesty and upset over something that you kind of lied about but didn't.
I lost you and all the memories that we made here.
Did you though? Because you seem to bring up a lot of them.
The only thing that was lost was me. It took me coming up here to realize that I've lost touch with myself.
I really lost my way with these terrible friends from college. So I guess the tension's over? Like that was it?
Yeah. It's a shame it'll all be gone before too long.
Sophia, I almost forgot.
The thing she found, they're about to answer the question.
I think it's your grandfather's will.
I called it! I called it! Woot, woot! That's right, I'm the only one who's predicted something in this extremely predictable movie. Nobody else.
I found it last night when I was searching for a gun.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. You were searching for a what?
CJ.
This isn't a will. This is a list of my grandfather's
The
victims.
cabin and the land. He left it all to me.
What?
Quick.
Wish for the Nile. Wish for the Nile. 6 years later. We don't have to watch them hobble along the entire way, do we? Only thing better would be is if they explain their plans as they go. Are they going to go and thank that guy and say, you can live here as long as you want? Oh, they're going to go and tell him, get off our land.
What are you doing here?
CJ found my grandfather's will. The bank doesn't own the property. He left it all to me.
Congratulations.
I don't care.
I wanted to give you this portion of the land so you can stay.
But you're gonna have to work.
You don't owe me nothing.
What if I gave you this land in exchange for
love?
You keeping up with the traps?
What?
Yeah.
Throw in a mule.
I suppose I could do that.
Even though it's illegal, like constitutionally. You're so cute, you cute little war veteran. Just don't tell anybody about the bodies I buried. Wow! What a thing worth making a movie about. The end. Well, there you have it, folks. That was Be Still and Know. Now, when I first recorded this video, I didn't film a review at the end because this was one of the very first watch parties I ever did. Just about every single week, I do a watch party over at SGK Plus, and I filmed this one last year, so this was one of the early ones. I hadn't quite figured out what I was doing with those, but now I've done like 40 of them, so it's not an issue anymore. And not to plug too much, but it is true that you can watch all of the watch parties I've ever done, unedited. They're all archived at SGK Plus for $7 a month. You may have noticed that this episode felt a lot more like you were just hanging out and watching me talk about the movie. That's because that's exactly what it was. So stick around if you want, and I'll be reviewing the bloopers at the end of the movie. But right now, with voiceover, I'll give my thoughts on the movie. I could go on and on about all the frustrating tropes that are in this movie. This movie has so many things in it that annoy me, that are used in a lot of movies, but usually there's one or two of them. This movie has so many of them, it's almost like they kind of wrote out, here's the characters and here's the motivation, and this is what we want to happen. And then they just kept on writing dialogue to reinforce all of that over and over again. When you're making a scary movie and the final conclusion is all of it was just a big misunderstanding because the characters are dumber than the audience, that's no fun. I would rather see those dumb characters get slashed in half by Jason Voorhees or something. That's what makes those movies so satisfying. So there you go, those are my thoughts. Now to the bloopers. 10 minutes left. Like, what happens? Do they have a blooper reel? We're gonna find out together. These are the types of things you only get. Oh, good. I knew it. I'm not gonna say how I knew it, but I just knew it.
Oh, that's a mosquito.
People want to see behind the scenes clips of me making my movie.
I bet these bloopers are gonna be hilarious.
It's not easy.
Ah, that's funny. They never explained why it was so dusty in this room. Look for people you know. Oh, this scene again. They just can't get it right. The problem with this is these are things that are just funny to the people involved in the movie. Nobody else cares about this, which kind of indicates that this whole thing is such a vanity project. Like, I have a thing that I want to make, and I think that people care about it. It's like hearing about other people's vacation. Nobody really wants to experience it, and yet here I am. Here I am. That's funny. That guy, he's a hoot. He's a hoot. I feel like they don't have enough shots of the hilarity that happened in this truck.
Oh, God. Oh, that's scary.
Well, good job, Brittany Goodwin. Your husband sure paid for a great movie.
Wow. Settle.